Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 700, recorded live on April 8th, 2023. I'm your host, Kaleva. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons Online nearly every weekend. You can watch us through Twitch, YouTube, the DDO forums, or from our website at DDOcast.com. Audio portions of the show are also available on Spotify. DDOcast is hosted by Buzzsprout, the awesome podcast hosting network. Shows are usually available within a few days of recording. The next show will probably be on April 15th, 2023 at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can stay updated by following us on our social media pages or our website, DDOcast.com. On the podcast this week, I'm going to talk about PAX East recap from a couple weeks ago and the latest happenings on Lamania, and also going to give my opinion or thoughts on the new forums that Cordovan showed us yesterday at his Fridays at 4 stream. So PAX East was a couple weeks ago now. Was a lot of fun getting to go there and meeting up with some of the other content creators, Voodoo Spice and Nimbind, and meeting the team at SSG, Cordovan, Torque, Nobob, Artemis, I think is her forum name, and talking to Severlin, as well as Tolero. It was a lot of fun, and Humble Friar was there as well, one of their newest devs. So, yeah, going to the meetup was a lot of fun, and the panel was really cool to attend. Very interesting to see the process on how they develop dungeons, and it was just really cool to get kind of that behind the scenes look at what the devs do, the content designers as well on a daily basis over at SSG. I am still kind of recovering from getting sick, so I have to mute my mic while I have a coughing fit. That's why I've canceled the shows the last couple of weeks. Um, but in game news, talk about the store news and bonus days. So this weekend, the bonus days, we have Champion Hunter Week and Double Commendations of Valor. For store news, this is your final weekend to get the autos boxes if you want them. They will be in the store through April 9th, tomorrow. Seeing this sales through April 13th, 25% off selected mounts, Mirrors of Glamoring, Keep on the Borderlands bonus items, White Plume Mountain bonus items. And the weekly coupon code that is good through April 13th is for the Lesser Guild Renown Elixir, and that is More Guild XP in chat. And that will also be available in the description of the videos. So that's what's going on with the store. And also at PAX East, they unveiled the dungeon crawl code, which you can see on the screen for the free quests, raids, and adventure packs, which is an awesome code. It's valid through April 23rd, so you got a couple weeks left. If you haven't used it, let your friends know about it. I think probably everybody knows about it, but just in case anybody doesn't know about it, use the code Dungeon Crawl. So yeah, and at PAX East, it was a lot of fun. The panel was really cool. Kind of watching them go through the process of designing a dungeon that we're going to see in the game soon. They didn't say when, but kind of like a one shot, one off dungeon type thing. I'm excited for it. It was pretty cool. I liked all of the pitches that were given. Um, that you do have the I don't know if you still have the ability to vote. It's been a couple weeks, but I'll have to look into that. And if you do, I'll provide a link later on in the description of the videos and stuff. But it was cool. Like No Bob had a pretty cool one, with um, the baby, the dragon gets turned into a cat, um, and then so that was it sounded like it would be a lot of fun. Um, and Torx was interesting too. It sounded a little bit more. Um, what's the word I want to use? It sounded good, and I would like it, and I would play it, but it was a little bit more challenging and technical. Like there was some puzzles and traps laid all throughout, and you wouldn't have to bring a rogue, but that was it was just a little bit more challenging and technical. I think was my takeaway from Torx. And then the other one from Sasha, I want to say her forum name was Artemis, but anyways, that one was cool too. Like you going and gathering spell components for this thing to fix what went. So it was it was a lot of fun to see that and get to listen in on it and then ask them questions and that be able to talk to them briefly after the panel at PAX East, and then again talk to them at the meetup about the game and whatnot. And it was just a lot of fun. And I really appreciated that Severlin made the point to go around and talk to everybody. And it was nice to just be able to talk to Severlin about the game and give him some feedback and what we liked and disliked, and just kind of have a normal conversation with the devs about the game. So it was just, like I like to talk about Dungeons and Dragons Online. It's fun, and it was nice to be able to do that with the people that make it the game. But it was a lot of fun, and I hope they do it again. Love to go back and hang out with the other players and stuff. It was a lot of fun meeting everybody. So yesterday, Cordovan on his Fridays at 4, technical issues and all, he kind of talked about the new forums that we're getting, and we've been promised new forums for a while now, and they're coming soon. And he didn't give an exact date, but it's I believe sometime next month is what he was alluding to, and this is April, so in May. Uh, I'm remembering that correctly. So the new forums are nice. There's a lot of features and stuff that will be beneficial. Um, so the new forums, excited for them. Like to, I don't have a lot to say about them, but I'm ready for new forums, especially some mobile friendly forums, which is kind of a huge pain with the current forums, as they don't really work well on mobile. Um, so it's gonna be nice to have the new forums come out and all that. So looking forward to that in the near future, and as well as what's happening in the near future is update 59, which we or not we SSG was originally going to give us the Vecna Unleashed pack in Q2, but now they've had to jumble things around, so now we're getting the Droam update for U59. So Lamania was open this past week, and there was I did a little bit of checking her out on the new quest, or the not it's not really the new quest, the legendary versions of Diplomatic Impunity. Didn't get time to go into Framework or Eyes of Stone because I know the quests, and I'm just kind of I didn't see anything uh, particularly worth checking out, in my opinion, for me. Um, because I'm not really that into the testing of features and stuff like that, but I wanted to go in there and take a look at stuff. Um, but with U59, there's some performance work that has been done. They've fundamentally changed how the bonuses are calculated with feat bonuses, enhancement bonuses, epic destiny bonuses, past life bonuses, toggle bonuses, temporarily granted feats, armor class bonuses, blocking armor class bonuses, attack bonuses, damage bonuses, and saving throw bonuses. So all of that has been redone or recalculated. There was a pretty good write up from one of the devs that has worked on it. Um, so it's a lot of that back end work to reduce the load on the servers as part of their effort in getting rid of reducing lag. And we'll never be able to get rid of lag. That's just the way that networking is. But so reducing it as much as possible to make the gameplay experience nice and smooth. So a lot of that stuff was done um, to help improve the lag issues and server load issues. Um, so in the explanation from the dev too on what was happening is that they've been at this for a while, trying to redo this stuff because it's I'm gonna kind of paraphrase what they said. Turbine basically invented a couple of ways to deal with things when the game was small and what they anticipated it to be, and that worked great. In a larger development sense, this kind of happens all the time. It's like you scope and do the work for what you think the the project is going to be, and and it works. And you try to future proof it a little bit. Like, well, what if we want to do this, or what if we want to do that, or and stuff like that. So try to future proof it a little bit, but you can't future proof it for everything. So um, they did what they did. They had their reasons for doing what they did, um, and they made sense at the time. So, but then again, that was also that's when the game was being developed, and the game was released in 2006, 17 years ago. So this would have been developed, 2004, 2005 timeframe. So 20 years ago, that what the thought of the game was going to be was what they developed to. So, um, but here we are, 17 years later, 20 years later from development, or the start of development possibly, and it doesn't work anymore. The game has just gotten too big for the system that it what they're the for what was for the systems that were originally developed. Um, so they did a bunch of work. They kind of redid things, and they've been testing this alongside on the Lomania server whenever they've had the previews up. They've had the old system and the new system kind of running simultaneously, but they felt that they were at the point now where the new system was capable of doing everything that it needed to do, and so they shut off the old system on the Lomania server, and that's why that was they were asking for people to keep an eye out for the discrepancies and bonuses on character sheets and stuff like that. Uh, and that's some of the testing that I don't really get into that much, so I didn't look into it. I don't really know what happened. I'm just going to assume that everything was working fairly well. So for those that do test that kind of stuff, you're appreciated and all that. That's not what I go to Lamania for. I go there to look at the new stuff. And while I am interested in stuff that's under the hood of the game, as being an indie game developer myself, and doing that as a hobby, um, I'd rather just play DDO and look at the fun stuff. Uh, so yeah, so that was that under the hood work on the back end, all that technical stuff. So, but with update 59, we got the Droam Legendary Edition. So this preview, we had access to Diplomatic Impunity, Framework, and Eyes of Stone, the free to play quests. They made those legendaries. They moved the NPCs, quest givers, a little bit. They changed it so that you don't have to do the quests in order, um, which is nice. You can just do the quest. You can jump into whichever one. For pugs, it's a really nice thing in the game now, where where you don't have to do the story in order. Some of us, we'd still like doing the story in order. To go do Diplomatic Impunity and then Framework and then Eyes of Stone. Follow the story, and that's fun. But sometimes if you see a pug and they're on Framework and you haven't done Diplomatic Impunity yet, you being locked out of doing that is, or having to red door it is, frustrating. So it's nice that you don't have to do that, or that restriction has been eliminated. Um, Also, we had so I'll talk a little bit about Diplomatic Impunity. I did go into that one and looked around, and they added a what did they call it? Uh, they gather everyone added a series of trail markers that vector you more clearly to the first objective. So that's kind of nice because it's pretty easy to get lost and turned around in there if you don't know where you're going. Still happens to me on occasion, getting turned around in there. So that's kind of nice. It did look like they were interactable, so I don't know if that was just an issue or not even really a bug, but just like the little dialogue window thing popped up over that. So, but they didn't do anything. They were just there. They're just markers, like piles of rocks. So, uh, for Diplomatic Impunity, the primary path bramble walls have been removed to give additional quest guidance. That's nice. You don't have to break those down anymore. They added small amounts of XP for most optional objectives. The Fog of War now displays its next objective through the fog, and the Gather Everyone thing has been removed. So it's a lot of nice things that they've done with Diplomatic Impunity, and kind of if you read the notes and know about it, I skipped over one of them, which was the Wildman monsters have been replaced with bullywugs. It is what it is. So there's a whole lot of drama on the forum if you want to go and grab a bucket of popcorn and read that. But um, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't care. I really don't. They're monsters. They, but so framework. They reduced the number of minotaurs in the final encounter. They added a mechanic to allow non-trap disabling characters to prevent being hit by the trap, leading up the stairs to the final encounter, and reduced the number of ballista parts required for an optional. So that's nice. The trap going up to the final encounter was kind of nasty. There was ways to avoid it before, I believe. I think you could go into like the corner and kind of jump up a little bit if you had a good enough jump. But that's one of those things where it's like you had to be able to, you were investing points into jump or have the ability to cast the jump spell. So it was like it wasn't available for all characters per se. So that when Lamania opens next, I want to look at that, but just to see how it works. Um, Other than that, don't really know of anything inside of Framework that um, is going to be super different on a legendary version. And then Eyes of Stone, they added a note in the library wing to reinforce how to avoid frost traps, which don't break the barrels. Um, and a rest shrine has been added after the troll fight, so that's nice for that. Um, so those are the quests and some of the changes that we saw in this first Lamania preview. I'm assuming we're going to get more because they're, with the whole Droam update. So I'm guessing, and I'm guessing, completely guessing here, that the next update or the next preview will show the next set of quests. Um, and then the third preview, following that three preview cycle, will have the new stuff. So, and that's looking forward to that. Kind of interesting, or interested to see where the story goes. I was talking with Glassjaws about it, and he had said that it'd be interesting to kind of delve into the Sisters of Sorakel, um, and that whole thing, and there could possibly be a tie into Sharn, and this is all just two D&D nerds talking, with the Boromar clan, doing their thing, being run by one of the sisters. Um, so I'm excited to see where it goes. And I know I was doing this thing leading up to or following the gatekeepers and the whole thing with the codex, but now that we've changed, not that I don't work for SSG. SSG has the game has changed its update cycle. Not even really update cycle, but update order. We're getting Throam next instead of Vecna, so I'm gonna. Excuse me, I thought I could avoid that coughing fit. Ah, where was I? Yeah, SSG has changed the update order. We're not getting Vecna Unleashed anymore, but we're still getting it. We're not getting it next. And instead we're getting Throam. So now I'm gonna kind of focus the lore theories and stuff, and kind of investigate where we could go with that, the attack on Stormreach chain, and looking more at the Sisters of Sorkel and the Sharn tie-in, and well, it's either the Boromar or the Dask. I cannot remember now. But yeah, so looking at that, see if there's anything. Probably not any real hints in game as to where they're going because this thing was so long ago, but just to see if we can get any ideas on, and do some speculation while we're waiting for that. And then after that, we'll go back to um, digging around and looking for clues and stuff, storyline things where we could go or where they're going to go with Vecna Unleashed it. So, um, they did say with this preview that they were showing some new stuff. Obviously, update 60, we're going to get hireling were rats. They're available in the test dojo to check out. The hirelings are expected to be released with update 60, Vecna Unleashed. They are not yet announcing how players will be able to acquire the hireling were rat. Um, I did kind of look at them a little bit. They're rogues. Name is Darling, um, and it's cool. Excited for them. It'd be nice to have a second rogue hireling because we got Froggo from Saltmarsh, who is really good hireling, um, up to about level 5 to 7 range, somewhere in there. And after that, the Froggo is no longer effective. Um, so having a second permanent rogue hireling, excuse me, available in heroics is going to be nice. Um, so don't know if it really on the legendary level is going to affect much. So and then also this says in the after update 59 Underdark themed mount preview, which was a fantastic looking mount. And I'm going to change scenes on here. Go to here, and this is the what do they call it? Underdark themed mount preview. It's so awesome looking. I love this thing, and I cannot wait to get it. They're not saying how it's we're gonna get it. It will be available in the future, after the release of Update 59, and not with it. So after U59, this is going to be available somehow. I mean, just look at this thing; it's fantastic. Uh, really excited for it. And armor and stuff I'm wearing is the legendary versions of the Droam stuff that was available. Just kind of put it on to have some armor and on and all that stuff. So um, it does look like they're going to need to adjust the hands position. Right, this character is a human warlock, so um, but just running around with it and stuff, it looks like they've got a lot of the animation issues figured out. Um, so and I was thinking, and I see this in chat from STN, the Caught in the Web raid. Cordovan said that that's not going to be where it is, because they're, well, he didn't say that's not where it is, but he did say that Caught in the Web is not going to be the raid that they're redoing. So I don't really see them going to add the loot in there, and that was kind of my thought. Underdark themed Black Panther. It looks kind of reminds me of the Astral Panther that you can find out in the King's Forest. So that made sense. Like, it was a pretty good guess, because we know that they are going to be updating one of the current raids. So with given all that, it could be. It was a pretty good guess, but Cordovan kind of shot that down yesterday. So the glowing eyes that you can see from the front of it are fantastic. I cannot wait to get this mount. I love it. It's just just so excited about that. Yeah, no problem, STN. That's I feel like it fits, but we'll see. Let's see. So I don't I'm trying to think of where else we could get this mount from that we don't, unless there's some possible tie-in with the Vecna Unleashed to the Underdark. Who knows? Maybe Lolth and Vecna are working together. That would be crazy, though, right? Having a Loth and Vecna team up and stuff, that would be awesome. But I was trying to figure out how or what that they've alluded to that would, give us an Underdark themed Panther. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to think about that one for a little bit, but we'll see. So talking about bug fixes that were available or that are coming. You see, the offhand slot should no longer go missing after reincarnation as an artificer. They updated the visual for the legendary spiked turban. This is a good one here. Mirrors of Glamoring now have a clearer tooltip to explain how their eligibility works. So that's nice. Let's see. Oh, here we go. The web barriers in the quest sacrifices can now be broken with the Eldritch Blast. That was very annoying. Playing a Warlock, having to turn that off and go back to a weapon to break web barriers was very annoying. Um, you know, but so that's nice. Let's see, some threat generation from divine righteousness that is untyped and grants its correct amount. Uh, let's see, Black Dragon Bolt's damage to players has been reduced to its original values from before the Blightcaster update, so that's nice. Um, there is, let's see, some gameplay changes. Talk about those now. Work has been done behind the scenes for Universal Tree Tomes to make them work slightly differently on SSG's end. or server end, so this should have no effect on the functionality. Um, but they're putting that out there just in case we notice something unusual. Um, so let's see, the Fast Nightmare is now bound to account. And these ones are nice too. When you spot automatically, or when you spot or automatically detect a secret door, a question mark appears over your head. So that's a really nice thing. It looks good. And then the same thing for a trap. You get a question mark icon. So that's kind of nice. And there's been some Reaper difficulty adjustments for spellcasters in general on skill 7 on R7 and up. 7 has gone from 25% damage to 23, 8 20% damage to 18%, 9 R9 is 18%, then it is now down to 15%, uh, and R10 from 15% down to 10%. So a couple UI changes I want to mention. The pet character sheet for class-based animal companions and related summons now sorts its feats alphabetically. And pet character sheet saving throws label is no longer cut off visually. So that was the summary of U59 and some of my thoughts on it. I know not everybody's going to be happy with it. And in general, I do like the update as a whole. I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't go in and investigate the quests completely. Just kind of poked around the first one. I can't think of the diplomatic impunity. Um, just to see it before it closed. Just didn't have a lot of time this week to be on Lamania. So, uh, and the answer to question from Slughead, it's I use OBS, and this is a recorded video. So, and I think I recorded it in HD. No, but um, this was just a quick clip that I took on Lamania of the Panther. Lamania is closed right now. This is a recorded clip that I took on Lamania. So, um, other than that, let's see. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Looking at excited for the new forums that we're going to be getting pretty soon. Looking forward to the next Lamania preview. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit more time to go in and investigate the quest a little bit more and some of the changes. Just for a gameplay experience. And excited for U59 and the drama update. So, the legendary versions of the gear, I don't really have too much to say on it yet. I looked at it. It looks nice on. I don't remember. I think that's the Garments of Equilibrium. I think that's what I threw on. But yeah, I mean it's the let's see a comment here in chat. This is the weapons at level 30. We're only at 1.5 W instead of 5 W. So yeah, I mean they need to be appropriately statted. And I know sometimes we don't, or we get a version of we don't always get the final versions of stuff, and it's important to point out that we don't get that, or that things are subject to change, and that things that need to change, it's important to point those out to the devs on the forums. So And I know there's been some issue with some of the new gear not being appropriately statted from what the last ever since level we went legendary. I think some of the stuff that's been moved up to legendary quite hasn't been legendary. Um, hasn't been statted correctly. Uh, and I know I know it was an issue in going back to the last Crystal Cove, and I think the event before that had a similar issue, but it's been kind of an ongoing issue. That when older stuff becomes legendary, or the legendary versions come out of existing stuff, it's not quite added properly. Um, so hopefully they're able to fix whatever it is that's causing that issue. So, um, yeah, so I'm actually going to kind of cut this one short a little bit, just because I can feel some more coughing coming on, and I apologize. I'm still recovering, and okay, sorry about that. I am still recovering, and so but I do want to end the show, or I am going to end the show, and I do want to end it with my content creator shout out. It was going to be somebody I met at PAX East, and that is Nimvind. I was first introduced to Nimvind, online via Voodoo Spice, and Voodoo has a very accurate description of him. He's the class clown, but he's an absolutely genuine human being, and him and I became pretty good friends in a short amount of time. So I do want to give him a shout out. He's over on Twitch. He has a YouTube channel. Um, Check him out. Give him a follow if he's your cup of tea. Um, but he's just all around nice guy. Um, really enjoy his shows. But uh, uh, well, check him out. Give him a follow if you like, and all that stuff. So, and again, I'm always asking for content creators, fellow content creators, to give shout outs to. Uh, you know, if you know of somebody or want somebody to, if you are a content creator too, let me know, and I'll give you a shout out. Otherwise, I'll just kind of work through the ones that I know about. So, and with that, if you want to support the show, you can visit our website, DDOcast.com, or you can support us on Patreon. If you have a DDO themed webpage, or you're a content creator and like to be featured on our website, email us at ddocast@gmail.com. If you have a comment on this episode, have a question you'd like us, like, if you have a question you'd like to hear us answer, I gotta reword that. Or if there's a topic you'd like us to discuss, or just want to say hi, you can email us at dshowcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media, and follow us for the latest videocast updates on Twitter. I also want to thank all the Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Tried to get the mute button. I want to thank all the people that do support the show through Patreon, and through all the donations and everything. You are greatly appreciated. Thanks to everybody for joining me live. Thanks to all the listeners that listen in on Spotify. Uh, Everybody that watches and comments and likes the videos on YouTube. And all that. All the community support is fantastic for the show, and I'm really appreciative of it all. And I just cannot thank you guys enough for all the support that you show DDOcast. So until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits and all your chests level appropriate. Have fun, and don't forget to gather for buffs. Thank you.